All right, awesome, guys. So we waited a couple minutes, so we can definitely get started. Again, thanks so much for joining. And of course, you guys know why you're here. This is our first ever video selling workshop. Some of you guys may have been with Yaniv and I a couple months back on our first webinar about using video, and this one really came about by popular demand. People really wanted us to dive into the tactics, the strategy, the how and why of using video in a sales process. And so we brought this back for you guys. So we can get started. And again, just so you have a quick introduction, Ravi over here, I'm business development manager at Six and Flow. And of course, I've got my good friend Yaniv over here from Vidyard's EMEA Sales and Partnerships team as well. Yaniv, don't know if you wanted to do a quick intro, add anything there?
Yeah, quick intro. I'm at Vidyard. Yeah, focus here on sales and partnership. I'm ex-HubSpot, was there for 3+ years. I see a couple of people in the chat that I actually know. Hi, Danielle, I see you there. That's nice. You're in the Netherlands. That's cool. So I'm very excited for everybody to be here. I'm looking forward to give you so many best practice tips, suggestions around video and sales. So let's get started.
Yeah, and we already got a question in. So you're going to do some yo-yo for us today, Yaniv? I know this was a question on the last one too.
Who's asking? Who's asking? Next time. I don't have it here. You know, I have an injured wrist, so I can't do it.
Well, we won't let him get away with it next time, but we'll let you off now.
Okay.
All right. So before we dive in, housekeeping and some agenda stuff, you guys already know about the Q&A. The session is recorded, obviously. So afterwards, we'll be sending this out along with the slides and some other resources too. And of course, to go through some of the agenda items, we always like to start this off with why video. I think you guys intuitively know why you should care about it, but just always good to set the baseline. And then number two, really interesting, and thanks to everybody who filled out the type form that we sent out. We collected a lot of really good data about what you guys were looking for so we could focus this for you. And we just want to quickly run through what we heard from you and what we're going to focus on. And then of course, the main things, video throughout the sales process for top of funnel prospecting, how to use it in active deals, then of course, post-sale handoffs as well. And finally, we've put together a bunch of scripts, resources, and some wrap-up stuff for you guys as well. So a lot of good resources and stuff in there that we'll be going through. And other than that, we'll dive right in. So again, question on everybody's minds, why video? This is something I think people don't tend to think about a lot, but people intuitively understand, like I said. And the reason is this, I mean, you look at any kind of big company who's looking at network traffic, Cisco, for example, video traffic is making up a bigger and bigger portion of the internet traffic overall. And this increases every year. And especially in our current situation, this has probably skyrocketed in the last couple of months. But 2010 to 2020 has really been kind of the rise of video as a medium. You see Netflix, Snapchat, Facebook, LinkedIn, like video is across all of these platforms. And then nowadays, and especially in the last couple of months, again, the use of Zoom meetings, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, is just eating the world. So everybody's interacting with video in some kind of way, shape, or form. And by and large, it's becoming the expectation and the expected medium in which people want to engage with the brand, to do research, to learn about the culture, just to blow off some steam and have a little bit of fun. Video is there to do it. And nowadays, you guys have seen this, like it is really tough to connect these days. Even before the current situation, people were getting pounded with all these messages, calls, emails, social touches, Slack messages that come internally as well. Average decision maker receives between 50 to 100 prospecting messages a week. So it really is a challenge of how do you stand out? How do you connect? How do you add value? And ultimately, how do you push things forward? Some more stats for you guys, and I think this is really important to highlight with the current context. HubSpot has been pretty transparent in running weekly sets of data across all of their accounts and all of the businesses that use HubSpot in terms of call volumes, deal creation, email sent, response rates, and a whole bunch of other things too. And this really kind of illustrates the point here. You can see the amount of sales calls have really gone down, especially in the last couple of months. Almost 20%. And meanwhile, sales emails and response rates have gone like two separate ways. The emails have gone up over 50%, almost 60% pretty much across the board, while the response rates took a nosedive and they've stayed pretty consistently lower, 25%. lower than kind of the baseline average. And what this means, and again, what you guys have most assuredly seen in the last couple months, is like it's harder than ever to connect with people. People are sitting on Zooms just like this internally. People are, running from task to task. People are trying to wrangle the kids at home. So getting in touch with that person and breaking through that person is very, very difficult. More so nowadays than ever before. And that's why we're here. That's why we're talking about video. This is, again, the medium that really lets you kind of cut through the noise and help you start those conversations and build those relationships. If you guys don't believe me and you want to see the data yourself, we've linked it down here so you can take a look. And this is live and it updates every week. But again, just to set the baseline for why we're here and what we're looking at. And then here's what we heard from you guys. So again, appreciate you filling out the form. And here's what we've heard. Only half the people here have actually tried using video before. Not unsurprising, but there's a lot of opportunity and it's super easy to get started. So Yaniv will definitely take you through some of the ways that you can do this super easily. And the interesting thing here is on average, just a bit over 50% haven't received any kind of video prospecting message. And this is the opportunity, right? There's kind of a sea of calls, social messages, text-only emails, and that's the opportunity to really stand out. And it's just reflected back in all the people who are attending here today, just not having seen it before. There's a huge novelty factor. Nobody's really doing it these days. From 2020 onwards, and again, especially with the advent of Zoom, Microsoft Teams, all these other solutions as well, video is like really rapidly becoming an expected medium. So it's definitely a big area and a big opportunity. Next one is, I don't think so surprising. People are pretty comfortable on camera these days. And I think, again, it's all the Zoom meetings that we're doing nowadays. But 3.4 out of 5, which is honestly higher than I think we expected. And then finally, and what this whole kind of workshop is focused around is when we asked you guys what you wanted to learn the most, number one, pretty resoundingly was, what do good prospecting videos look like? Number two was, where does video fit into an outreach sequence? So we have some examples of that for you as well. And then number three was video hooks, templates, and scripts that really drive more meetings. So I know I threw a lot at you there. Yaniv, did you have any comments on this data specifically? Oh, you're on mute, my man.
Sorry, yeah, I see it here. That's the number one sentence in the world right now. Yeah, so it's clear from these answers, right? It's all about everybody that's here is really looking, how can we start leveraging video in our sales and our prospecting, stand out, do something human. And so we're going to show and walk you through from the next slide onward. So I'm very excited to continue here.
Perfect. So, I mean, without further ado, let's really dive in and let's go through some of the tactical and strategic things you guys can do. And I will turn it over to Yaniv to start talking through.
Yeah, perfect. So would it be okay if I share my screen here?
Yeah.
I'll just take over here. Or would you like to keep it there? I don't mind really, but
100%.
it's easier.
No, let's do that.
Perfect. One moment, everybody. We'll just switch to this side because I want to show you a bunch of things outside of the deck as well. So we'll have a look right here. Okay, please let me know if everybody's seeing the screen. I think you are.
You're good.
Yeah, perfect. So what we're going to look at, we're going to start right there, basically within the sales motion, right? I mean, using video and sales, there are 3 areas where we can start using video. One is in prospecting, right? But the main focus is to cut more through the noise, generate more opportunities. Secondly, it's mid-sale, right? How to help keep the human interaction going to shorten the sales cycle, close more deals, and then post-sale as well. So we're going to look at all 3. Now we're really going to focus on prospecting. Okay, so before I actually show you some examples, and we're going to play a couple live here for you, because I want the best way to actually learn and see this is to see some really good examples. Before I do this, right, the status quo for a lot of you at the moment is this, right? Cold call follow-up, right? When I ask people that are doing sales, what are you doing with sales, right? Yeah, we do some calls, we do a lot of emails, we do a lot of LinkedIn messages, right? Then I would ask people that are doing sales, hey, can you show me one of those prospecting emails that you're sending to potential new customers? And it's all kind of a variation of what you're seeing in the screen right now, right? Like, hi there, my name is X, I'm from company Y. We work with a lot of company similar way. These are our services. Would you like to speak to me? Here's my calendar. Book some time with me. Right? And we talked last time we did the webinar, Rich probably gets, right, and this business or like the decision makers that we go after, right, they probably get like a day 10, 20 of these, right? And maybe Rich wants to talk about it, but this stuff basically goes to trash straight away, delete, gets ignored, doesn't get answered. Is that fair, Rich? Most of it?
I get hundreds of these every single day.
Yeah, fair enough.
I ignore nearly all of them.
There you go, right? So the main motion is, right, especially if you speak from a sales perspective to decision makers that are sending these emails out themselves, I would always ask them, hey, so you're sending out these emails. When was the last time you received a prospecting email yourself, right? To the people that are sending out these emails. And they're saying, well, yeah, I receive them all the time. I'll be like, so when is the last time you responded to any prospecting emails yourself? Never. Don't remember the last time. So why would your prospects, right? I mean, why would your prospects answer the stuff that you yourself don't even answer, right? So that's the whole motion. It's a complete clutter game, right? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a pattern interrupt, right? And that pattern interrupt in this case is, instead of a slab of text that just screams, hey, I'm a sales email, please delete me. Suddenly we're just making a video where you're showing your face, where the prospect sees their own website or their own LinkedIn profile in the background. That creates intrigue. So what we're seeing is when we're benchmarking cold email outreaches back at HubSpot, right? And we looked at average engagement rate with an email, like clicking on a website link or something like that, anywhere between 7 and 11%. Here, when we see in video, we see anywhere between 50 and 76% of people actually engaging with that video. So out of 100 prospecting emails, between 50 and 76 people are going to watch your entire video. That's green flag number one, regardless if they answer, right? So if they watched a minute of you and heard your voice and seen your face, you already have a leg up compared to all your other competitors that are just sending the same old boring text emails, right? So what I want to do right now is I want to actually show two examples, and we're going to play them here. So I'm actually going to take my headphones off, of best practice videos in prospecting. One is going to be outbound, where the motion is that we're going to use a prospect's LinkedIn profile to create a trigger, okay? And then secondly, we're going to look at an inbound example where somebody, for example, downloaded an ebook, a white paper, or a guide, okay? Going to look at those. Afterwards, we're going to look at some less best practices, and then we're going to look at some key factors for why this works and how you can start making this successful for yourself as well, okay? The first one here, I'm actually going to click it here and turn off my headphone. Hopefully everybody will be able to hear the sound. Probably can keep my headphones off right now. All right, let's play this right here.
Hey, Robbie, good afternoon. How are you doing? It's Yaniv here, Vidyard. Hope all is well with you over there in Canada. I'm on your LinkedIn profile here. I saw your profile pic, so I thought, hey, let me show my face as well, make a short video for you here. Hope you could appreciate it. And also hope all is well and that you got through these last couple months okay. Reason for the reach out is actually two reasons. First of all, I saw as I scrolled through your LinkedIn that we used to work at the same company at Vidyard, so we probably know a lot of similar people. Would love to connect and hear how your time was over there. But more importantly, reason for the reach out is I see that you're currently a business development manager at Six and Flow. And typically you and your role and people in your team are focusing on generating new business opportunities for your business. I looked at Six and Flow, which is a digital agency in Manchester. And we work with a lot of very similar digital agencies using the power of video to cut through the noise, make a human connection to help generate more opportunities. And we know it works really well because obviously you're watching this video right now. So if this is something interesting for us to have a conversation on how you can use video in your prospecting and sales process, I would love to get in touch with you, share some best practices and ideas and some tools how you can get started with it. So I'll put my calendar link in the end of the video. Find 10, 15 minutes this week or next week for us to get in touch, and it will be great to connect. For now, have a great day in Canada. Cheers from Dublin, Ireland, and hopefully talk soon. Bye-bye.
All right, so that's example number one. Everybody just wants to go into the chat real quick and just write 1 or 2 lines of feedback, what they thought of that, good or bad. Take your time, just write a sentence or two. Maybe call out a couple of things here. Smooth, who's that? Okay, a bit too long, too long. Gary Allen. I don't know who that is. I do. Good, quite long, friendly. It's all about them. Great that it was personalized. It's good having their brand in the background.
How scalable is this? That's a good question. We'll get into that one.
We'll get into that one for sure. Bit long. Good point. So it's interesting, right? And we'll be able to touch upon all of these points. So write down everything there. We'll touch upon a lot of these questions or comments in a moment. Someone is saying, hey, my concern is what happens if everybody's starting to send this? Fair enough. Some people say, hey, I don't respond when people don't personalize. Yeah. Guy on the video looks a bit funny. Yeah, I agree. Weird person. Cool. Appreciate all those feedback points. And we can definitely, seemed a bit odd telling him what his company does. Okay. Cool. So mixed things, right? And a lot of very good points, right? From being a bit too long, is this scalable? Love the personal approach. There's a lot of good stuff, and we're going to cover a lot of these points that you're mentioning here. Okay, super relevant. Okay, so we're going to look at another example. Okay, so once again, length will be relatively similar, and we'll talk about that length in a moment. This one was completely outbound, right? Using their LinkedIn profile. Now what we're going to be doing is someone downloaded an ebook, a white paper, somebody that comes inbound, but not necessarily somebody that raised their hands and says, hey, I want to speak to sales. Okay, let's have a look at that as well.
Hi, Charlotte. How are you doing? It's Yaniv here, Vidyard. Hope all is well with you over there in Manchester and that you enjoyed the last couple hot and summer days over there. I thought for change, I would do something a little bit different, show my face, make a short video for you. Hope you could appreciate it and that it stands out in your busy inbox. Reason for the reach out is that I saw that you downloaded one of our ebooks and guides on how to use video more effectively in your marketing strategy to drive more leads and engagement on your website. I saw that you work at HubSpot, so that prompted me to then have a look on the HubSpot website. And I was actually scrolling through the homepage and I saw that you're currently not using any video on the homepage at the moment to drive more leads. Typically when people are downloading these ebooks from us, it's an indication that you're looking to get more visual content on your website and more engagement to help generate and drive more leads. I have a lot of data and best practices. There's a couple direct competitors like Marketo and Salesforce that are using video on their homepage. So I would love to give you some insights into how they're doing it, some best practices in place there. And then here, if you think that might be a good fit for HubSpot's use case as well. So I will put my calendar link in the end of the video. Find 10-15 minutes. Love to connect. I'll share some best practices and ideas and then see if there is a fit between our video solutions and what you're trying to do within your video strategies for HubSpot. So for now, I wish you a great day in Manchester. Hopefully talk soon, and cheers from Dublin, Ireland. Bye-bye.
All right. So here's the second example. Other than, again, right, it being the same length roughly in video, anyone throw another 1 or 2 comments there in the chat, what you thought of it, and maybe what the main difference was of this video for you compared to the previous one.
Yeah. Well, while people are doing that, John just has a comment or question. Have you ever split test you being on the screen exclusively versus kind of you in the bubble in the corner? And just a general comment, like, you know, how flexible is this? You feel kind of a little small when you're a little bubble in the corner. Because once he's kind of taken in the background, he's just focusing on like a small version of you instead. So you have any comments or thoughts on that one?
Yeah, so I myself haven't done a lot of A/B testing. I know in North America specifically, going full screen yourself and showing your face is a more common motion than in Europe. Both work really well, and it just depends on the use case. Right? In this specific scenario, I want to highlight that I have done my research around them, right? So in this case, I'm on their website, on HubSpot website, I'm highlighting you don't have video, right? Let's talk about that. Your competitors do, right? So in my eyes, it's way more effective to be in the corner there and make that pain point and focus on that. In the LinkedIn profile example, the reason why I'm in the corner again is I want to highlight you, the prospect, and who you are, right? And your role. That gets the trigger to actually get a response. For other motions, especially, for example, let's say a virtual event yesterday, or you met somebody face to face, right? And you're doing a follow-up after meeting them. Maybe you just want to put yourself on the screen, show your face, just yourself, for that person to think like, hey, that's the guy or girl that I met yesterday in the event, right? So it depends a little bit on the use case and the motion of how you're reaching out.
And a lot of really good comments coming through here too. You know, everybody's liking that you're on the site and you're showing it's about them and you're kind of walking through. There's one comment from Sophia. You know, you're on the HubSpot website. What's the benefit of being on their website? Could you use the page to show where the video could go? And absolutely, if you want to put in a little bit of extra work and just kind of create a journey, or like, hey, this is what this can look like and what this means for you, more power to you, because that's awesome. That's super powerful, and it really kind of paints the picture of how you can help, what you can do. Again, for a lot of this stuff, we're kind of talking through the Vidyard lens, and like if we were to talk about video prospecting or how they can get on board, but I'm sure it's not really a stretch to imagine how this might work for you guys instead.
Yeah, so that's a good point. And I see a lot more questions are coming in right now. I'll have to bundle them a little bit to keep a bit of the structure, what we're talking about. So maybe later on when we'll do Q&A, we'll go back to some of them, because I want to make sure that I address a lot of these questions, because they're all really good questions as well. So we'll do our best to address most of them. Probably best here in this scenario, if you have a question that is really urgent, potentially put it in the Q&A, because then we can actually address them one by one, if that's okay for everybody. And otherwise we'll just go through the chat and answer a bit more questions there. Okay. So before we actually go through a motion of what are key best practices, I want to show you a video of, let's look where we're looking at some things where a few pieces are missing, that I see a lot, right? So I want to show you that video here. By the way, all these videos I created this morning, okay? So they're examples, but I want to see if you guys can highlight the differences between what the videos were that I just showed you and a video that I'm making right now. And we can talk about those differences in terms of best practices. Okay, so we'll have a look at this one right here.
Hi, how are you? It's Yaniv here, making a video for you. I'm from Vidyard. We focus and specialize on video solutions for end clients, also like Six and Flow. We work especially with our solutions in marketing, sales, and service, as you can see here on the website. And the reason for the video is I would love to share some of the things that we do and see if that's something that you would find interesting. If that's interesting, please get back to me by email or call me on my cell, which is 085-706-3313. And I'll look forward to talk to you. Thank you.
Okay, so here, what are the main differences here compared of this one compared to the previous ones? If you see any, write them down in the chat, and we'll try to.
Oh, the people are on it, man. Before the video finished, they're like, oh, these are all the things.
Title isn't for them, boring. Fair enough. Thank you, appreciate it. Kidding, Joe. Too close to the screen. You ain't writing my number, that's for sure, right? No emotions. Same thing as with a voicemail, right? Like, yeah, you can call me back on whatever number. No one ever calls back, right? So self-centered. Where's the prospect love? It's very monotone, very flat, low energy, high tension. Okay. Let's give maybe one or two more people some time to write something down if they have comments. Talking about their own business rather than looking to prospect.
Ramsey, sorry to hear that, man. You deserve better.
That's funny. That's great. Nice one. Great. So very direct. Okay. So all of you are making very, very good points here. Okay. So basically, right. What I want to do is I want to show you a couple. So that's the most important one. I want to go now into key factors for success, and then I'll show you a bunch of other videos here as well that we'll talk about in a moment. Okay, so that will highlight the differences between a good video and the anatomy of an effect is the anatomy of that video.
that gets way fewer responses. And you probably have seen this list a couple times, but it is like a very marketing-y, the key factors for success. But over and over and over again, we see these things are the determinants to actually get a response when you use video and prospecting, okay? So when I highlight them, I'll go through them relatively quickly, okay? Number one motion, right? And I don't know if there are people here that actually highlighted that, but the number one factor for getting a response in prospecting specifically is to smile and be friendly, right? Be open in the same way that we are friendly and open when we meet somebody on a Zoom or face-to-face, right? You want to be inviting and show that you're caring about that person is the number one determinant, regardless of what you say, okay? We have people that mess up a video completely, but they're just friendly and nice, and they get a response. So an example here of somebody that's smiling, and he ended up sending that video anyway. Robbie, you know the person, obviously, right? Messed up a video completely, okay?
Hey Joe, Andy Hugh here from Vidyard, coming at you live from Halloween. Just want to talk to you about how video can really Oh, I couldn't do it.
He sent that out, yeah? A complete fail. No context whatsoever. Just watching that person heard his name that said, oh, that's such a cool video, got into a conversation, okay? So, and there are so many more examples of this, of people who are like bloopering or messing things up, or they're just being open, friendly, trying to be funny, right? And that we see is such an important determinant to actually get a really good response. I'm actually going to guide you afterwards as well here to Vidyard's Inspiration Hub, specifically to the prospecting side of things. There are so many funny and cool examples here of people doing crazy stuff with videos, like from introducing their dog on the screen, or there was this guy here who was, instead of saying a message, he was just singing a song, right? And that got the trigger, regardless of what was being said, right? So smiling, being open, or being funny and friendly, that gets a very good trigger, okay? The second piece there is the script. So scripting, especially relevant for the people here that are just starting with this. In the end, you want to be natural and you don't really want to script, but it's very important in the beginning to have a few bullet points just above your screen or within your screen, where you can have a structure to what it is that you want to say, right? Once you've done this 20, 30, 40 times, you have it in your head. But in the beginning, you need a little bit of structure that will then help you to guide you to what you should say in the video. People that do that when they're in the beginning of their journey, learning how to use video, these are then the people that go to the learning curve much quicker compared to people that just do it freestyle. It takes them way longer to actually do this effectively, okay? The third motion here is to make it really personal, okay? So as you saw in this example that I showed here, it was nothing. Hey, Ravi, how are you? I'm from Vidyard. I'm trying to sell you something. Versus both other examples here where I'm highlighting Charlotte in this case. In this case, I was highlighting Ravi, right? Something unique, trigger that's personal. That's key. Ravi's feeling, whoa, this guy just spent time on my LinkedIn profile. We have this stuff in common. He knows where I live. He knows where my office is. He has been on our website. That's for somebody to feel like, wow, this person is not some automatic sequence robot or whatever, right? That just sends off, you know, hundreds of emails in the same way. That's what gets the response. So the way analogy for this is one-way rapport building, right? It's the exact same way as if you meet somebody face-to-face in a Zoom call, right? Or have somebody on the phone. You always be like, how are you? How were the last couple of days? How are you holding up? Or how's everything at Business X? I read your blog about Y. Same thing. The only difference here is that you're doing this asynchronously, okay? Super key to get the response, as opposed to this video, and I've seen this over and over again, where a person says like, hi there, I'm from company X, and dive straight into business. Doesn't get the response. Doesn't.
And one thing that you mentioned there, it's I think it's a bit of a newer word, but asynchronous, and this is a really important point that I think we should kind of double down on. Again, just kind of think about your days to days now that everybody's working from home. You're sitting on Zoom meetings with prospects. You're sitting on Zoom meetings internally. You're running from meeting to meeting. Rich posted a bunch of memes about how he hates Zoom now because you can't escape them. But really, that's live synchronous video, right? That's you sitting on a call, sitting on a webinar, engaging with the content, engaging with the people, and having all your attention focused on this. So you can't really take a call. You might tune out and you might look at your emails once in a while, but you're not really taking it in. And so part of the idea of asynchronous video is that you give them a video that they can watch on their own time and they can engage with on their own time. It's not something that demands attention right away. It's not something that they have to drop everything that they're doing and do this thing right now, like a call. It's something that sits in their inbox. It's something that's engaging because you're waving, you have their website up, and it's something that, again, they can look at on their own time. They can book a meeting on their own time. And now more than ever, removing that friction and just giving them the opportunity to engage on their terms is key. It's huge.
100%. To be asynchronous is necessary right now with that Zoom fatigue and that screen fatigue all the time. So that's a very good point, Ravi. To immediately go into point number 4 here is to keep it short. So everybody pointed out very rightfully, both videos were over 90 seconds. So fair enough that you all pointed that out. In general, the sweet spot is 60 to 90 seconds, okay? In terms of the length for an effective prospecting video. We know that. Why? Because we know when we get notifications like these, right? If somebody watched your video 100% yes or no. So we know that's the sweet spot. Okay, so if people are thinking, oh no, I'm gonna do a quick 30 to 40 second video, that's the wrong mentality to look at it. 30, 40 seconds, it's too short to actually be personal enough to make it really a one-way or a real connection. So the sweet spot really is between 60 and 90 seconds based on thousands of videos that we've analyzed in length, okay? The 5th piece, very important, right, is offer to provide value in some way, but don't give too much of the value away. And I've talked about this many, many times, but it's so important, right? In this video here, what am I actually giving in value? Not too much, right? I'm giving a personality, but I'm also saying like, look, I know you're a business development manager. You're focusing on generating more opportunities as part of your role. We know that that's the case, right? And we know that there's a struggle to get opportunities. That's where we're using video. And I know it works because you're watching this right now, Ravi. How about we talk about how video can help you generate more opportunities? So what did I do there? I gave him an offer to provide value, to talk about a new way that will help him solve one of his main challenges and his main focus points in his day-to-day, right? Didn't talk about stats too much in depth, like a pain point and how this might be a solution. And the call to action is, let's have a conversation and see if this is a good fit. In this video here, I said, hey, you downloaded an ebook. There's a reason you do that, right? In my case, it's because somebody's learning about video. In your industry, it could be something completely different. It could be high-end manufacturing, engineering. It can be financial services. It doesn't have to be software, right? If somebody engages and downloads a white paper, an ebook, or any type of conversion, for a lot of the industries that we're in, that's not hobby reading material. It's because you're people that are downloading, that are educating themselves, learning, evaluating specific things. So use that as a trigger. You did X. Typically, that means you're trying to do Y. That's what we help with. How about we get in touch? See what I do there? I offer the value based on your engagement and then give the hook, which is come and speak with me and see if we can actually help you. Okay? As opposed to what I did here, which is some lame pitch. Hey there, we're Vidyard. Look at our website. Right? We solve this, no context whatsoever, right? And I see so many people that make a video and then they show their own website as a brochure. And I'm like, well, why do you do that, right? Why are you now pitching a brochure? You don't even connect a pain point that you know about your buyer persona. You don't give a value offer. You're just pitching here, right? That's not going to entice a prospect to actually book time with you, as opposed to, hey, you did something. I can help you with that. We have a lot of data. Let's talk and I can help you further, okay? The last 2 pieces here, forget perfection, be natural, okay? So there were a couple questions here on how to make this scalable, right? This is very important here. If you are gonna, and some of you, and I know that for the people that are doing videos, they're taking 10, 20 takes until they're like, yeah, this is a good enough video, let me send it over. Spent an hour on one video. Oh, can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're back now.
Am I back? Okay, cool, yeah. So what I was saying is like, right, some people will spend an hour on one video and then right, because it's finally perfect. That's not a scalable approach, right? SDRs, BDRs, AEs, account managers that are using this on a day-to-day basis, they can knock out 10 videos in an hour, easy, 5 minutes. Research a prospect, go on their website, record a 1.5 minute video, put it in an email or in a sequence and send it off. Done, 5 minutes, 10 tops, okay? That's when it becomes scalable, right? So back at HubSpot, I used to do 30 videos a day, easy, 150 videos a week. That's why over the years, I've done close to 10,000 videos. Once again, it's a sales activity, right? Pipeline building over and over and over again, right? That's how you make it scalable. If you're constantly re-recording because it's not perfect or you have uhs and ums, nobody cares about your uhs and ums. They don't even hear them. So don't worry about them, okay? Same thing with a voicemail. You have only one shot. You don't have a second chance. So the analogy is record yourself leaving a video voicemail. One take, send. Don't worry about uhs and ums. As long as you smile, right? Have a good script or a good cadence, flow to what you're talking, making it personal, offer to provide value, you're good, okay? And then at least, let me ask here to the people, try to be honest here. Over the lifetime of your role, how many videos have you sent so far? Just type in the number, try to be honest. Okay, okay. Thousands, nice, Rich, nice. 10, 15, 20, 25, 300. That was yesterday only. Wow. 50, 3, 2, 100, none, right? So for a lot of you, this is new, right? Fair enough, right? A lot of you, some of you are over 100, but there's a lot of you that have maybe done 10, 15, 20. Some of you, it's fine because you maybe just started a couple of weeks ago. But too often I'll be like, people will come to me, SDRs or AEs, be like, this doesn't work for me. I'll be like, okay, so how many videos did you send? Yes, 6. I'll be like, okay, you know, what do you expect? Right? 6 is nothing, 10 is nothing, 20 is nothing. Like if you want to do this properly, you can literally do hundreds. This is a learning curve, right? But you have to give it at least enough time to do this effectively. And in this case, do at least 100 of them. If you were doing 5 a day, you would do 100 in a month, okay? And 5 a day is nothing. You do that very quickly. Okay, so I'm actually also from a time perspective, the clicking piece, the how to make a video, I can show it very, very briefly, very quickly here. It's a free Chrome extension. I'll send you the research or the resources on how to get started with it straight away. It's literally a 3-click process. It's a Chrome extension. You download, it's Vidyard, it's free. You can make unlimited amount of videos with it, okay? Click number 1 is open it. Click number 2 is record it. And then click number 3 is select the screen that it's going to count down on 3, 2, 1. Just don't know am I recording the screen? Yeah. So you're now recording the screen. Once you're done, you press stop. Now what it's going to do, it's going to upload the actual video for you, okay, to actually create the video, okay?
Yep. So you need, while you're here, Marielle just gave us a good question. Is there a way you can embed the video in a LinkedIn message? So do you want to show, while you're on the sharing page, how we do that?
Yeah, 1 moment.
Yep. And yep, while you're doing that, Timothy as well. Timothy's comment is, I've never seen anybody do these one-to-one videos in smart attire like a suit. Usually, you know, it's casual wear like this. Would you advise to keep the outfits casual due to the nature of these videos? Generally speaking, in my opinion, yes. That said, depending on your industry, if the expectation is everybody's wearing suit and tie or dressed up dressed up a little bit more, it's good to match that expectation and to do that as well and kind of give it off the air of professionalism. Again, nowadays, I think with the current situation, you have a lot more leeway and you can be a little bit more casual and informal. But if it's appropriate for your industry, absolutely.
100%. So I'm just pulling this up as we were going in. So we have I'm just taking, can you see my whole second screen right now?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. I seem to be having a little bit of issues with my connection of LinkedIn.
It happens to me every day, man. Sometimes I'll just click a random page and it's like, oops, it's me, not you.
Fine. I just want to see. So basically what you will do, if LinkedIn would allow me to just get into them, right, is here on the branded sharing page, when it's created, you can press share. You can then copy the link and thumbnail straight into an email. We'll look at actually a sequence real quick. I'm going to open it up in a moment. LinkedIn opens up here. I don't have a connection issue with LinkedIn. I shouldn't. right here. So here's the video. I could just send this private message if I'm connected to somebody here. So I could do Ravi right here, right? Connect to him, send, done. It will be in his inbox right now, done, okay? Super easy to do. I won't focus too much on this right now. The reason I won't focus too much on this right now is because we can send you resources, and the best way to just do it is play around with it yourself, and you'll see it's super straightforward to actually create them yourself. What's more important is a bit more best practices and for you to understand, like, hey, how do I do this effectively? So besides the fact that you're going to get notifications if somebody watched video, which is your gold, right? Especially we're all in sales, right? I have had many people on the line that never responded to me. Many. But I know that they watched my video, right? If Rich watches my video, right, and I know that he's seen 100%, 5 minutes later, I'll be on the phone with Rich. I'll be like, hey, it's Yaniv, the great actor from the video. What'd you think of it? I'll be like, that was shit. That's what Rich would say. But, right? And then he'll be like, wow, why are you stalking me? Or how do you know that? I'll be like, yeah, I got a notification. He'll be like, that's cool, right? Now we suddenly have a super warm conversation. Somebody has seen your face, has heard your voice, right? If you call that person up and you know they watch your video, complete game changer in terms of a conversation compared to this outbound. Who are you? Why are you calling me? I'm at home with my kids. Where were you? Out, right? This is like literally your goal. So don't be discouraged if people don't always respond, right? The reality still of especially cold prospecting is the majority will still be a no, right? Or a no answer. Doesn't matter what you do. But if you get way more engagement because you do something unique that stands out, your video, right? And get in touch with people, which is the way your conversation will go completely, okay? Then the second piece is I want to walk you through, and there were some questions in the chat, so hopefully I'll be able to answer a few of these questions right here in best practices, okay? So a couple things, the best practice of a effective video email template, okay? Let's go through that at the moment. First of all, the number one thing, which doesn't have to do with the video itself, it has to do with the subject line, right? Subject line is, as you all know, super important to get an open. So SalesLoft does research on this that says like the best subject lines are maximum 4 words. Okay, so in this case, 4 words: my company name, reason for contact. Why does that work so well? The subject line doesn't scream I'm a sales email. Subject line could be anything. Could be maybe I'm a potential customer. Maybe I'm somebody else, right? The whole goal of the subject line, there is some fear about that you can be very clear in the subject line, right? Or you can spark curiosity, which is what you want to get the call to action to open, which is what LinkedIn is filled with, right? It's always that first tagline in LinkedIn, right? And then, you know, you want to read the rest of the story, click, you open the rest of the story, right? The intrigue. This is an intrigue subject line. At HubSpot, we found that this subject line or a similar subject line where it sparks intrigue, reason for communication, region for reach out, these kind of things trigger a high response rate. We measured, depending on BDR teams, open rates between 70 and 80%. Of course, it's HubSpot, right? Which is, at that time, it said HubSpot, which is a big brand, but we still see that's a very high open rate. Second motion is, of a good subject line is Ravi, 90 seconds video for you. That's it. Or personal video for you. Okay. Now somebody knows, oh, it's personal video. Click, they open, they actually see a personal video with their own LinkedIn profile and a smiling Ravi. That also gets a very high click rate. Okay. Try those 2 out. There's a bunch more subject lines, and we can do a webinar on subject lines, right? And there's a whole you know, there's a whole science to it, to what to effectively, but we know that either saying, hey, short video for you, or reason for the reach out or the contact, that is super powerful and effective. Okay.
Just a quick one here while we have a little break. So Chris asked, you know, for companies who are just getting started, where do you suggest they start? Do you suggest it's like kind of the less quality leads and prospects? Who should they make videos to build their confidence?
Yeah, so to build their confidence, so it's a good question, right? So always it's good maybe to practice initially when you send videos to not necessarily your top buyer persona. So it doesn't really matter if you mess up, right? If you know that your non-buyer top buyer personas or your top customer profiles, like your ideal customer profile, if they people outside of it start responding to you, but then you know, okay, my message is good. Now I can go after my ideal customer profile, right? So I would just look at a list when you make an initial prospecting list of maybe like 50 prospects, right? Or 100. Have for sure the first 20 ones that doesn't matter too much if it's not the perfect video. Afterwards, once you've practiced, then just go and focus on your main customers. Good question. Any other question right now, Ravi? I know there's a bunch more in the chat. But...
Yeah, there's a bunch. And just to check in on time, and I guess it would be good to have some comments from you guys too. I know, because what we heard from you guys is you wanted to focus on the top of funnel and the prospecting. We have a few comments about using this for deals, which we can get to really quickly, but we have more stuff we had planned to share on this topic specifically. Did you guys want us to keep going and diving in? We're almost at the end of the section, or did you want us to move on as well? Just to be cognizant of time, we've got 13 minutes left, and so there's not too much time set aside to run through everything we had planned. But again, we want to make sure this is focused on what you guys wanted to see, and because we heard prospecting is the thing, hopefully this has added a lot of value for you guys, but I want to make sure it's still on topic for you. And yeah, John, the deck will absolutely come after.
Will be shared. And all the videos in the deck are links to actual videos. So you can all watch those examples afterwards at your own time. We're going to send scripts. So I'm going to go through a bit quicker now, because I definitely also want Ravi, sorry about that. Yeah, that we focus on the prospecting piece.
You're all good, man. It's less work for me.
Cool. So just to quickly on the video email template. Okay. Once again, subject line, reason for contact. Then don't put text in your email when you're prospecting. Defeats the purpose of making a video. Too often I see like two like alineas or pieces of text and then the video. Then as well, like, well, I'm reading there, it's a sales email, delete. I'm not going to watch the video. If I'm saying, hey, I'm making a video explaining why I'm reaching out, have a look. Now you're going to be like, okay, what's the reason, right? Ravi sees his own LinkedIn profile or your own website, click. That's what you want. So don't go give too much text in it. It's very, very important here, okay? Those are some best practices on the template side of things. Then there's a bunch of best practices around putting emails in a sequence. I want to see, I probably we can do additional sessions on it. I'll send some additional information on a video email sequence. You can look at a screenshot here. Most important when you create a sequence, for the people that use HubSpot, it's the automation tool for follow-up emails. There's a bunch of other software out there, but HubSpot has really good tool for that, is use your first email, which is the video, and then email 2, 3, and 4 should point back to that first email. Email 2 should be literally a sentence. Hey, what'd you think of my beautiful acting skills, of my nice video? What are your thoughts? That's it. Email 3 should be, hey, a couple days ago, I sent you a video about X. What are your thoughts? The whole goal is you're making an asset and you want to drive people to that asset that differentiates you. Okay. That's all I'll say about that for now. There's a lot more stuff on that. We'll send you, we have a whole guideline on a effective video email cadence or sequence. Ravi is also going to share that with you with a lot of additional information on that, okay? I want to give you a little bit of time video during active deals, Ravi. So if you want to talk about that, because there are two very powerful use cases that you all definitely need to be aware of, especially for the AEs and account managers here that don't just only do prospecting.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Yaniv, if I could get you to keep sharing, just so you can play the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. And just to mention as well, we've talked about this a little bit, and we'll remind you guys at the end. But we have a lot of great questions, a lot of great engagement, and as much as we want to hit everything and make sure we can cover everybody, there's just not enough time for us to do it. So if you guys want to do one-to-one time with us, send us a couple of videos. We're happy to take 15, 20, 30 minutes and sit down and really kind of dive into how this would work for you. Where does it fit into your sequences? Just give you some best practices and pointers as well. Our calendars will be up at the end of this presentation. It will be in the slides. We'll be sending you emails with our calendars. So feel free to book us, connect with us, make use of us as well.
Perfect.
And then for Kitty and everybody else who was asking about this, video during active deals, this is really about the mid-sale stuff. And so the purpose is, again, be specific, provide resources that guide people, keep them moving. And ultimately, it's a more visual way, and just kind of the same principles as doing video for prospecting. Using live notifications really helps you understand who's the most engaged with you, where should you be spending the most time, which deals need follow-ups, and you'll get all these insights coming in real time. But as a quick example, I recorded this one this morning. Here's an example of a proposal. Yaniv, if you want to pull up really quick.
Should we play this?
Yeah, we'll play this one because we only have time for this one, I think.
Perfect. So I have some comment.
Hey there, Rich. Really excited to be working with you and the team and get you guys on board with video selling. As we've discussed, I put together a quick quote based on the things and the training that your teams need. And I want to shoot this quick video to walk through some of the different items for you. So as we've discussed, you already have a few rep setting videos, but we really want to bring everybody in line to make sure the branding is all on point, so that everybody's comfortable with using the videos, and that all the calls to actions and everything are in place as well. And so to that end, what we're proposing is a video setup and optimization. And what that means is really three main pillars. One is just the general setup of the platform, including making sure everything is on brand, all the call to actions are in place, and all the data is feeding through to your HubSpot CRM. So we can set up the active list and make sure everybody's on the same page with the analytics. Number two is sitting down with the team for some video scripting, so we really understand your tone of voice as a brand, and of course, where it can fit into the different processes in your sales funnel, so we can make appropriate scripts that your team can use that are scalable and repeatable. And finally is the video prospecting training as well. And this is a really bespoke training video meant for your team in an onboarding document that has best practices, scripts, processes the team can refer back to, and more importantly, as you bring on new reps, you'll be able to refer back to this document and really speed up the process of onboarding. So you can see our subtotal here is £1,200, and the quote expires on the 17th of July. So you have 30 days from today to make a decision on this. If everything looks good, you can hit the sign button and do an e-signature, and then we'll be able to get you in with our team and get started right away. But if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. As always, my calendar will pop up at the end of this video, or just respond to this message, let me know what works best. Thanks so much, and look forward to working with you soon. Cheers. All right, guys, give it to me straight. Feedback. Good, bad?
Feedback. Thought that was great.
Yep. While we're waiting for it to come in, like really the idea is because they're engaged with you, you can take a little bit more time and get a little bit more in depth on some of the things you talked about. Always keeping in mind you're adding value, making it about them. This is what we talked about. This is how it affects you. And then, of course, making sure you're kind of getting away from the game of telephone. So this is a video that can be shared around to all the decision makers, and you can collect feedback and see the analytics from everybody. But that's where that fits in.
Yeah, and to this point, the reason why this is so powerful is there's a couple, right? First of all, you make it completely transparent. Like we talked about XYZ, this is the price, this is next steps, right? But the second piece is a lot of us are in sales, right? Sales and account management. We don't always speak to the final decision maker. So always a CFO, there's always some MD, there's always somebody involved that also signs off. You can now use this kind of video to level set with everybody. Right? So you repeat it, and then you say to your contact person, well, how about you show this video to your CFO so you understand the pain, why you're going with the solution, and the price that justifies it. The funny thing is we have reps that even say directly the name of the CFO, right? They'll be like, hey, Rich, this video is also for you. Nice to meet you. I know we haven't met. I had a nice conversation with Ravi about XYZ. You have pain X. This is a solution, and this is the pricing that justifies it. Let me know if you as the CFO have any questions for me. Right? And then if the CFO has questions, now it comes directly to you. You have immediately a direct line to the person that actually signs off. So you regain control in the sales process, where otherwise you're just hoping that your contact person sells that proposal in the boardroom or in the board meeting, right? Where you typically would lose control. Very powerful stuff.
And some of the comments, you know, the proposal screen isn't very engaging. Part of that is my fault. I just accidentally cut out the title, which says, you know, proposal presentation and stuff at the top. So that was on me, but totally point taken. And again, don't feel obligated that this only has to be on one screen. You can go across a lot of different tabs or different screens and like kind of tell the story or weave something in through that's a little bit more engaging. But again, for the purposes of this, just so you guys kind of see the main point, the main thrust, there it is, and it looks like it was helpful.
Perfect.
And we don't have enough time for this one right now, but I've also created a mini demo video. So partway through the sales process, especially in software, or if you've got something that's a little bit more visual, really helps either before doing a big demo or afterwards of doing a demo as a summary, to take 3 to 5 minutes and really walk through some of the main features, and kind of really tailor the discussion of how this helps or what they might find value in based on your research or that kind of thing too. This video that I made is about 3.5 minutes, which takes us to the end of our time. So we're not going to play it now, but again, we'll be setting out all this stuff for you guys. So if you want to take a look, if you have feedback for me, it's right there for you.
Perfect. And similar here, so we mostly focus at the top of the funnel based on your feedback, right? So we looked at prospecting, and now an example here, which is post-sale or mid-sale. We won't play this video right now, but there is also post-sale. Actually, when you close the deal, we have an example of an account handoff where we're introducing somebody to the project manager or the onboarding specialist or the customer success manager, also using video, showing their LinkedIn profile. Then they send a video as well. And you just keep that human interaction going, not just in the sales process, but to continue. This is also a hyperlink, so have a look at that as well at your own time whenever you have a moment, okay?
And then just to wrap up going through the last stuff, we do have video templates, so scripts and things that you can use and make your own. We have some email copy as well that you guys can take a look through. And we've highlighted some key things, just the quick bullet points, kind of step by step. If you're making your own video script, these are the things that you should do. Open with their name, have a confident introduction. The reason I'm reaching out is, and this is important for calls or whatever you're doing, highlight their problems like you mentioned. What are their industry problems? What are their personal problems? What do business development managers care about that you guys can help with? What does this mean to them? Can they provide? And then be curious. What are you focusing on right now? It's as simple as that. How are you considering handling this? Is this something that you guys are seeing today as well? And then, of course, as salespeople, ask for the meeting. Ask for them to book some time on your calendar, ask for them to set aside some time next week, like whatever that call to action is, always make sure you're asking.
Perfect.
Yep. And if you just want to go down to the bottom too, just before we wrap up, yeah. We've been answering questions throughout, so I don't think it makes sense for the Q&A. But again, we have a bunch of the resources that we've referenced and how to get started, including a link to the Vidyard Chrome widget. So highly recommend you guys check it out. It's totally free, and you can make an unlimited amount of videos through it. So it's a really good way to get started. Six and Flow, we have a guide on how to use video for sales, and Vidyard also has an awesome guide on using video in the sales process with a bunch more scripts, templates, sequences laid out for you guys too. And then the big one here is, of course, get one-to-one feedback from us. So some of you guys have submitted videos to us and asked for us to follow up with you guys. So we will absolutely do that after this. And make sure we can set aside some time and really give you some personalized feedback. But we want to open it up to everybody as well. So whether you're just getting started, if you've sent 100 videos, 300 videos, whatever it is, book some time with us, send it over. Let's get some feedback going and make sure everybody's getting skilled up. And that takes us to the end. So we're right on the dot. Would love some feedback from you guys. One, if it's helpful. Two, if it would make sense, or if you would be interested in us deep diving on other parts of the sales process. Love any comments or feedback.
Perfect, everybody. Thank you. I hope that was really useful to focus on the main thing with prospecting. There's a bunch of additional stuff. There's so much to talk about here, right? In terms of, the specific processes. Very quickly, these things also become very dependent on your role and your industry and the way you reach out, right? So if you have very specific questions like, hey, how do I go about, reaching out to specific people in the organization, or here's a sequence I already have, how do I do it with video here, right? That's where we're offering that one-on-one help so we can actually tailor it to your specific situation, which often is the case.
Cool. Awesome. Appreciate all the feedback, guys. Would you guys be interested if we were to do another one, not next week, but maybe a couple of weeks down the line, and focusing on a different piece of the sales funnel? Because again, we're pretty heavy focused on the prospecting side.
Let's wait for the first no. No, that's good. Yeah, that's great. And we'll tailor it. Once again, we'll send you a type form with some questions around what would be the main focus. We'll make sure to tailor it a bit more on mid-sale, post-sale, more examples for you, some scripts and templates around that as well, all with the intention to help you succeed with video. So we're really excited about that.
Perfect.
That's it. I guess we're good. Rich, any final words? Are we good there?
No, great session, guys. It's great to see all the engagement. I think that's probably the most engaged session we've
That's
ever had.
amazing. Yeah, it's proper.
Awesome.
Thanks everybody for the engagement and the great questions. And if you feel you haven't had it answered, feel free to reach out. We'll answer your questions whenever you have them. Okay.
100%. So thanks so much for your time and attention, guys. Really appreciate it. You'll be hearing from us very soon. And again, we'll be sending out all the slides, the videos, the resources. Make sure you guys have it all in hand. Again, you have our calendars. Hopefully speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon. Have a good day. Cheers. Bye, everybody.
Cheers.